Welcome back. Quiet for the market, just above that 5,300 mark. Since it's so quiet, let's start quickly addressing all your personal finance queries. Harsh Roongta, as we told you earlier, is our expert for the day. And the first caller is Mohammed Ehtisham, who calls in from Bangalore. Hi, Mohammed.
Hi.
Hi, could you tell us your question and a little more details about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Mohammed Ehtisham and I'm a software engineer.
Okay.
I have a query on my mutual funds. I'm a regular investor in the mutual funds, and all mutual funds belongs to the equity funds.
Okay.
Birla Sun Life tax and BSP BR tax and Fidelity tax, and Principal and Sundaram. My query is, I want to invest every month 15,000 rupees for nearly a 5 years period. Can you please suggest a good mutual fund which can give me around 20-30% of returns?
Okay, and you don't have insurance, right?
No, I don't. I have insurance, but that's LIC.
LIC. Harsh, take it away. What's the advice?
Yeah, Mohammed, I think first two things. I think one, any opportunity to give 20-30% return per annum, you must have reasonable return expectations. Even if you are investing in an equity mutual fund, to expect return of 20-30%, you are either have to take a large amount of risk, which probably is not warranted, or you're set for disappointment. So I think first, please set your return expectations correct. What is the reason you're saving money for? What's your goal? This 15,000 rupees per month that you will save, you are saving towards what goal, for what period, etc.?
My period is around 5 years. I'll invest for 5 years, and I'll stay invested for another 5 years. So it maybe for 10 years, so total.
Okay.
It is for my daughter's actually the education.
So quite that's quite a good thing that you are planning so much in advance. I think two things you clearly need to do. You first also need to make sure, even before you start investing, you need to make sure that you have proper risk insurance, and that includes a term policy which will roughly be 10-12 times your income, and you should take that online, and adequate health insurance policy, both regular policy as well as a top-up policy. That's for yourself and all your dependents, people who are dependent on you. That itself will probably take away about 3,000 rupees per month, especially if you also take, and which you should, disability covers. I mean, if something happens to you because of an accident or because of a critical illness, that's something that you need to cover yourself. All this together, to be completely adequately covered, will cost you roughly about 3,000 rupees per month. The balance amount, I would suggest that you put in a balanced fund, given your time horizon and the fact that your the return on a balanced fund would roughly be about 12-13%. I mean, that is the expectation you have. The risk profile there would be 70-75% equity, roughly 25-30% debt. You can look at HDFC Prudence, you can look at Birla Sun Life 95, Reliance Regular Saving Fund balanced. Your tax saving funds, all the tax saving funds that you have, once your 3-year lock-in period is over, you should look at switching them into regular equity funds or into a balanced fund, depending on when that 3-year lock-in period gets over.
Okay. Well, before we get into a break, Harsh, I wanted to expand this into a larger question, because we don't often get children's questions. So expanding it generically for, say, a person who is planning for, assume 2 children, 1 girl and 1 boy, for a period of 15 years. Let's assume the children are below 5 years, and the investment amount is 10,000 per kid per month. What kind of investment options should they look at for, say, a 15-year period?
So, as I said, first I think is the fact that even before you begin investments, please make sure that should something happen to you during this time, whether life or health.
Harsh, I'm taking that as done. I'm
Okay.
taking the
So if-
insurance part as taken care of.
So
only for investment for the children, what would your advice be?
So I would say if you have a 10-15 year horizon, you could do 90% equity and 10% debt. And for 15-year horizon, PPF is one of the best options. So that 10% you put in a PPF through a regular SIP, and the balance 90% you can put in a well diversified or large cap equity fund.
Such as specific names?
So if you do large cap, you can do Franklin Blue Chip diversified, you can do HDFC top 200, you can do large cap DSP BlackRock 100 or HDFC equity again.
Okay, this was a groundswell of question which came from Team CNBC when they saw this children's question. Take a break. On that note, we'll have more viewers with their questions. Welcome back. We've been speaking to our personal finance expert Harsh Roongta, and he's been taking questions from all of you. The next caller is from Pune. This is Swapnil Sane calling from Pune. Go ahead, Swapnil. What is your question?
Hello.
Yes.
Just have a question. Like I have mutual funds of around 80,000 rupees, and I have SIP for BNB Paribas and BNB course. So just wanted to know what should I go for.
No, please come again. You want to put an extra 10,000 every month aside from what you already have.
Yeah.
Okay, and you want to keep the money in for 3 years. Your goal is to get 15 lakh.
Yeah.
Correct? All right. Harsh, just to add, you may have already got this information about Swapnil. He has an insurance policy with ICICI, and the yearly amount is 2,800. Sum assured is only 1 lakh rupees. Okay, go ahead, Harsh. What's your advice?
So I think very similar to what we just discussed with Mohammed. Swapnil, first, before you begin investment, please make sure that if something were to happen to you, you need full cover. The cover that you have is totally inadequate. So the only way you can cover that is through a term policy, and please take that online. Plus you need health insurance for both for yourself and your dependents, plus a disability cover for yourself, accidental disability and critical illness. All that, and you probably see these details on the screen, will cost you roughly about 3,000 rupees. That leaves you roughly 7,000 rupees for investment. And I think you have a longer time frame. I think the question, do you want to invest for how long?
15 years.
Sorry,
15 years.
15 years. You want to invest for 15 years, right? Absolutely. That is what I had also understood. So again, as we just were discussing just before the break, I think you should look at a good, well-managed large cap funds such as Franklin Blue Chip or HDFC top 200 or DSP BlackRock top 100 and a certain portion in PPF. So out of the 10,000, 3,000 goes towards insurance. Of the 7,000, put 3,000 into two of these funds, and possibly 1,000 rupees into PPF. I think that should serve you quite well.
All right, Swapnil, that's the advice for you. Very clear. You can put most of it in equities, about 6,000, and the advice is in Franklin or DSP, BlackRock, top 100 equity, and the remaining 1,000 could go in your debt, could be a PPF. Let's go across to the other caller. It's Atul Khandagal, who calls in from Chennai. Hi, Atul.
Hi.
Could you tell us your question and a little more details about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Atul. Currently, I'm working with a private company, private limited company. I'm based in Chennai. I want to know, actually, my goal is to get 50 lakhs after 20 years.
Okay.
So, how I should invest to get my goal, actually?
50 lakhs after 20 years.
Yes.
All right. And you also have some current investments in equities and insurance.
Currently, I'm investing in top 200. That is 7,500 per month.
Okay.
And then I'm also investing ICICI Dynamic Fund, 2,500. And apart from that, I'm also in IDFC mutual fund, 2,500 actually, growth fund.
And you want to invest your 15,000 over and above this?
I want to know, I need to invest over and above this, so this will be sufficient.
Fair enough. Go ahead, Harsh.
If this is the only goal you have, I think what you are investing will be sufficient, Atul. But I presume you would have other goals as well apart from this goal. I think this is for your child, but you would have other goals such as retirement. So that's a decision that you need to take. The funds that you have are pretty good. All the three funds that you have are well-performing funds. The IDFC Premier Equity, of course, is a mid-cap fund. If you want to invest a further 15,000 rupees, then again, advice again very similar. Roughly 3,000 will go in making sure the life insurance policy you have is a ULIP and it hasn't performed well in terms of fund performance. And the surrender charges now are not very high, so we would recommend that you surrender it and make sure that you have enough life insurance and health insurance as well as disability insurance. 12,000, I would not advise you to add too many funds. You already have two good funds. Add 7,000 rupees in those funds, the HDFC Top 200 and ICICI True Dynamic, and maybe add one more Franklin Blue Chip for the balance 5,000 rupees. Otherwise, I think you are well on your way in any case.
All right. Atul, thanks a lot for joining us with your questions, and Harsh, thanks a lot for joining us with all those answers. I'm sure that was a wide set of parents you were answering to. And viewers, if you have any personal finance questions, do write to us through an SMS typing YM followed by a space and your personal finance question. Send it to 51818. Alternatively, you can also email your question to yourmoney@network18online.com.